Hi, welcome to We Why Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode number 3, and it is titled Basketball, Bobbleheads, and Brow Girl. And I think that it is an appropriate title.
Spot on.
So we start with Whitney packing and talking to Justin, Meredith talking to Seth, packing, and Bronwyn's talking to Todd while they're packing. You know, talking about all the drama that's going to come up when they're going on this trip to Milwaukee. And then Mary calls up and says that she's going, but she's going to go on her own flight. Like, wait, is she going commercial? You're giving up a private jet? Or does she have the money? I mean, she probably has the money to go private.
Mary either has her own private jet or she's just going to fly first class, but, by herself, and she don't have to talk to nobody. I can't imagine that flight's very long, though.
No.
I don't know. How far is Milwaukee?
Where Utah is, and think about, right?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't think it's long.
All right.
And I just want to know, like, what kind of closet
first class
is Whitney talking about? Acting like it's all good after the ropes course. When Whitney was packing her stuff in her closet, she was like acting like it was all, I'm so glad that Heather did that.
I'm glad Heather got us all together.
Yeah, okay.
So then we see Angie talking to her husband. I couldn't remember his name. Do you remember? What's Angie's husband's? Yeah, maybe that's it. I just wrote her husband. I couldn't remember his name. And he asked like how she feels about like what's going on with Lisa. And she's like, listen, I wasn't even able to finish the conversation because she got up and left. And
So
then
rude.
she's telling him about her. It is so rude. She's telling him about her brow girl who's getting texts and flirting with Jared Osmond.
That's some tea she spilled right there.
It really is. And she's not sure if she should tell Brittany, but she doesn't want Brittany to get hurt. Listen, I agree with her. I don't know if I'd want to tell Brittany either, but I wouldn't want Brittany to get hurt. And she's got this information, so she's got to share it.
Yeah.
She has to.
Think about what you would do, though, because like part of me feels like she should have called her off the show.
Absolutely.
She shouldn't have brought it up on the show, right?
Well,
Absolutely.
I know
Listen.
they're filming a show and this is what they're supposed to do, but I don't think in good conscience I could do that on air.
No.
But Brittany's a new housewife, and she didn't come on as Angie's friend. I think that
she's just a friend of, isn't she?
Well, I definitely think she's just a friend of, but she came on as Heather's friend, right?
Yeah.
She came on as Heather's friend.
Yeah.
So if anything, maybe she tells Heather if she really is Heather's friend, because we don't know, because we know how they play these games. So if she really is Heather's friend, maybe she tell Heather and have Heather break the news to her. But nonetheless, she's telling her husband about it. And he's like, well, you probably should tell her. And then we see...
Oh, wait. Could Angie possibly have any more Greek items?
Oh, my God.
Could she have any more Greek?
That.
I know, but could she have any more Greek items? I was like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, she was a big fan of Giannis. She's a
Mm-hmm.
huge fan of Giannis. And listen, after the Olympics,
it was a little over the top.
I was a big fan of Giannis too after the Olympics, but I would not. I mean, she had the glasses made special.
The glasses were definitely over the top.
Funny.
Just like, she's cute though. I really do think she's cute. I do. I think she's cute.
Like her.
I do too. I
like Angie
and I'll
too.
tell you this: people are saying like she deserves that center snowflake. People are out there saying that like she this season deserves that center snowflake. And we talked about this in the first episode. Where it started out and she was the center, and then there was another picture where it was Heather in the center, and I thought that Heather deserved the center. But what I've seen so far this season, it must have been they must have put up last season's and like cropped out Monica to put Heather in the middle.
What they
do single shots,
visual
yeah.
shots. Put them together so they can move them around however they want.
But they were different colored dresses.
I did notice that they have different colored dresses now in there. I forget what they call them, but when they show them, like when they're highlighted in the next scene, they've finally updated their dresses because they hadn't since season 1 until now.
Yes.
Lisa was in that same... She either had a silver dress or gold dress or in the opposite boots, but she had silver and gold together. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
And that's what the first shot was of the cast photo. It was the silver and gold photo where they were all wearing those colors. So I think what happened was they started out that way. And then once the season started, they're like, wait a second, Angie gets the center snowflake. Like, let's put Angie in the center. And, you know, I think right now I agree. I think Angie does deserve the center snowflake. Yeah. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes. So we see Mary shows up in Milwaukee first, and she says it reminds her of her dad because he's from Milwaukee, and he lived a street away from Jeffrey Dahmer, and he always smelled a smell. Mary.
Somebody put a post out about how, like, Mary's family, like, if we could just, like, they need to, like, get their nose, like, bottled and sold, because if they can smell, like, what kind of nose you got?
A hospital. She smelled hospital the first season.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Like, Mary's family
has a very high sense of smell.
Yes.
That's hysterical.
To farm that out for work.
That is so funny.
That's hysterical. Let me ask you something. Why do these women not wear sweatpants on planes? They show up to get on the private plane. They got jeans on. They have very uncomfortable clothing on. Put your fucking yoga pants on and a hoodie and be comfortable on that plane like the rest of us people would do.
Yeah.
Who's flying in an airplane in jeans?
Not me.
Not me either.
How do you really feel? I love this. I love that you're so passionate about your flight attire.
It's definitely the tequila.
So she also says that her father was around to see Jeffrey Dahmer get arrested. And she thinks he was probably just being like nosy, being a nosy neighbor.
Okay.
And watching her go into the hotel with her 3 bags for 2 days, and that guy
bags.
4.
I counted them.
4. Yeah, it was technically 4. It was technically for 2 days, and they were big ass bags.
Huge.
Yes, they were.
I mean,
one was a carry-on. But the other 3 were enormous. But she had 4 bags for 2 days.
I know. Listen, I'm going to call what Mary says Maryisms, because when we get to the next Maryism, I almost fell off my chair. We're going to wait and get to it. We're going to wait till we get to it. So they show up and they meet the guy who's the whatever he is, right? There's 9 rooms around the living area, so they could each have their own room. Thank goodness. That was gorgeous, that hotel.
Yeah,
that was nice. Gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And then we find out that Melly, how do we pronounce her name?
Mealy, I think.
I think it is Mealy. And every time I say that, I'm thinking of mealy worms because I don't know any other mealy, right? I know that's bad, like mealy worms.
I was thinking of
what?
Mealy fruit. Like when fruit is mealy, it gets like grainy. You never had like a peach or something, and it was mealy. Yeah, it's like gritty.
Okay.
So
okay, so Mealy.
Fruit.
Great.
Poor Mealy. That her and Whitney have been friends since college. I didn't
know. That's not what she said.
Oh, what did she say?
Whitney said, we've been friends for a little while, but we've run in the same circle of friends since college.
Okay.
So they have people in common, but she said we've been friends for a little while. I only paid attention to that because of what Lori said last week, that it's basically
not her friend.
Manufactured friendship.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that because I was like, right. Good. So then we see Lisa starts talking about Jack having health problems because they ask how Jack is doing. And she starts crying and he's having problems with his health, but she's very vague about it. Like he's having pains in his stomach and she's ready to get on the plane to Colombia. And Meredith's like, well, they've got to make exceptions for this. And she's like, yes, but Jack doesn't want me there. He can handle this himself.
The whole time I'm thinking to myself, okay, Jack has like a diarrhea and Lisa's like, oh, I must go. And he's like, Mom, I just had the shits. That's how I saw it.
He is in Colombia, like no disrespect, but anytime you go somewhere out of the country and eat their cuisine, your stomach has to get used to
water.
Yeah. Right.
You're going to come across something funky.
Yeah, so it could be that. I actually thought anxiety, but that my head always goes there.
But she was like, honestly, she was falling apart over it. I mean, listen, we all have children with issues. I don't know. I feel like it was just too much. It was too much.
You thought it was genuine?
I did not. Did you, Kelly?
No, I didn't think it was genuine. She's
You
such
didn't
a
either.
drama queen.
I did only because I put myself in her shoes, and I'm like, if my kid were out of the country, I would probably get into the fetal position and not get out of it until they got home safe.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you both know I'm a nervous Nelly, I'm a worry wart, I'm a baby cry, I'm all those things. So I just thought, your kid's in another country, no matter what it is, you just want to help them and be there to take care of them. So
and that may be
I
true.
didn't think it was disingenuous, but what do I know?
That
you could be right. You could be right.
But it's the fact that she's such a drama queen anyway, then that's automatically where my mind goes to because of how she is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. Or if we even find out, right? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. So then they talk about, Whitney says that they have a suite tonight at the Bucks game. And Angie's, I guess they must have known that because she was planned for the whole Bucks game.
Yeah.
So she's over the moon about that. And that they are going to, there is a bobblehead museum in Milwaukee. And
I'd love to go to that, actually.
I actually would too. And Mary says that, and Whitney says, because Mary called me a bobblehead. And in her confessional, Mary says, well, Whitney was a bobblehead, but there is someone that has taken her place. And we know damn well who she's talking about. We do know, right?
They flashed to her. How could you not?
Yes.
How could you not?
And then Heather brings up that there's also casinos in Milwaukee.
I didn't know that.
Now, listen, I think at this point, there's got to be casinos in every state,
everywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And then, because Mormons are not allowed to gamble. They're not allowed to do anything addictive. They're not allowed to drink alcohol, do drugs, gamble, caffeine, right? Yeah. So, of course, half the group is going to go gambling and the other half the group is going to go to the Bobblehead Museum. And we see them unpacking and Mary gets a call from her son who's asking for $60 on his Cash App. Like, what? He's a grown man.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, I remember
zoned out at that point.
Yeah, because she's like, you didn't even call to see if I landed safely, if I'm okay. You want $60? And he was like, yeah.
You said you give him money.
He's like, yeah. Yeah. He didn't even elaborate. He did not even elaborate. He's like, yeah, that's what I want, $60.
Didn't even ask, how was the flight? Oh, yeah. Now they mentioned, how are you? How's your flight? No.
Right.
No, he did not. He did not even care. He wanted his $60 on the Cash App. Okay, that's their relationship. Yeah. Angie goes to see Bronwyn to see how she's doing after the ropes course. She's furious with Heather, but she's really mad with Lisa because she's known her longer. And she expected Lisa to kind of stick up for her in the whole situation where it kind of blew up because Lisa has known her longer and Heather was coming for her and Lisa didn't, jump in on her behalf.
I don't think Lisa did anything wrong there. I really don't.
She was talking some smack and hey,
she said something like, that's the way Bronwyn talks or whatever. Listen, again, just like New York, like Bronwyn, you knew what you were getting yourself into. This is what they do. This is what your friends do to you when you become a housewife.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is Emotional Support Water Bottle. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. We're two besties who don't leave the house without their water bottles.
Every week, we're bringing you conversations about pop culture news, relatable real-life topics, and our random thoughts about the world today.
We cover things like Bravo TV recaps, breaking celebrity scandals, and Hollywood updates, and dig deeper on topics relating to navigating our 30s, dating and relationships, and keeping our work, social lives balanced.
So grab your water bottles and look out for new episodes every Friday.
I agree with that. It's probably because I just don't like Lisa and I never have.
Yeah.
I don't think Lisa's a good friend to anyone.
No.
Probably not.
She was never a good friend to Meredith. And her and Meredith were supposedly friends.
Right.
And she has known Bronwyn the longest. And I don't think she is a good friend. I really don't. I will say the fact that Heather and Whitney are the buzzin' cousins, and they really are cousins, even though they fight, I feel like they still have each other's backs.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, yeah.
When it comes down to it, I feel like they still have each other's backs, where I feel like Lisa has Lisa's back and only Lisa's back, and she doesn't care about anybody else.
Yeah, I'd co-sign that. Yep.
Listen, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I mean, you're friends. Is it that important to you to, I don't know. I feel like, is it that important to you to be the top dog in this group?
I think she was just basically like, all right, well, Bronwyn got herself into some shit, so let's see how she gets herself out of it, because this is Housewives.
Right.
And that's what you have to do. Like, she can't be there to defend her all the time.
No.
And you just got yourself into some shit. And now you got to navigate through that, because this is your first season. And,
right.
You know.
So while she's talking to Angie, she says, listen, I may have said, you know, I may have said those things, but Lisa said far worse about Mealy. And we're going to hear that later. We're going to hear that later.
Right. Right.
And then they give us a cut to what Lisa actually said about Mealy, because we didn't see that. They didn't show that at the time that it had happened.
No, they were in the car, right?
They were in the car.
Nordstrom's going to revoke her business because she returns everything.
But when we saw them in the car, we did not see that scene.
No.
We did not see that scene, which is, again, why these shows are so confusing right now, because everyone is talking shit back and forth.
Yeah.
And they're doing these playbacks that we didn't see when they had happened, which is causing me to stop and rewind it to understand it so that I can talk about it. If I wasn't talking about it, I would just keep going forward because it's too confusing. And I feel like that is what the average viewer is doing.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing this. Stop doing this. It's confusing. It's just confusing. And they're gonna, like, the producers know and the editors know what they're going to show in the next scene. Then show it just the first time.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So then we see Whitney goes to Heather's room and they have a drink together, and that, you know, they cheers to the buzzing cousins, like I just said. Heather asks how her relationship is going with Meredith, and, you know, we know it's not going well. And then, because she's going on the trip with Meredith, like her and Meredith are going gambling, so she thinks maybe she can be like a little bridge between them. And then Whitney says, well, how is she doing with Bronwyn? And Heather says that Bronwyn was making fun of Whitney, and it didn't even seem like she wanted to have a relationship with her. But Whitney doesn't see this. Whitney sees that, like, Heather is riding hard for her and having her back. And she appreciates that, but she doesn't see what Bronwyn did. Is that how you guys see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the casino group that we see is Angie, Meredith, Lisa, and Brittany. And they're all playing roulette. The bobblehead group is Whitney, Mary, Bronwyn, and Mealy. While they're there at the casino group, Brittany is sitting next to Lisa, and she's like texting with Jared. And then Lisa's like, what are you doing? And then Lisa grabs her phone.
Lisa grabbed the phone. That was amazing. We
She's
all need a friend like Lisa in that respect.
Yes.
Yeah. She crushed that text to him.
Yeah. So what did she text him back? Do you remember?
Like, so sorry, didn't have my phone, having so much fun.
Right.
Don't know what time I'll be back tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't know what time or if I will.
Right.
Did he respond back?
We don't know.
They didn't show that.
They didn't show it. We don't know. We don't know.
She just screams desperation. It's very sad.
Yeah.
It is. It is sad. It is sad.
Like, he asked me to be his girlfriend.
No, he didn't.
How old is she? She's got to be 40, right?
No.
Oh, at least, I think.
He took you to Costco and posted a picture that he's with his best friend. That's all he did.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And did you see?
I was that girl, but I was that girl like
in high
early
school.
20s.
Yeah.
Did you see his post that he put out in response to this before the episode came out?
No.
Oh.
So he put out his own post in response to this before the episode came out, that I'm going to paraphrase it because I didn't write it down. But basically he said that he's been friends with Brittany for a long time, and he agreed to, like, be with her so she would have, like, a storyline on the show.
No, he did not.
And she is painting him in this picture that he is a horrible person. But she knew all well and good that they were really just friends. And he was there for her, and she knew who he was, and she did him dirty, and that he is not this person that we are seeing.
That's terrible.
I'm like, no matter what she said, like, you have just painted yourself in a...
It's the John Jansen thing. You
Yes.
keep saying that Shannon's making you look bad. You're making yourself look bad. And now this guy's doing the same thing.
Right. Right.
Oh my God.
Right. He's like,
That's awful.
Yes, because we know, we know, I mean, we don't know yet, but we do know that they've broken up. They are not together. And he posts this prior to this episode even airing. I was like, man, like,
dude.
Yep.
He's definitely a player.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's an F-boy. We all know it. Why doesn't she see it? You know why she doesn't see it?
Because when you're in it, you don't see it. When you're in it, you don't see it.
I know.
So how about when Meredith pulls Heather over and talks about Whitney's business?
Was it Meredith? I think it was the other way around. I think Heather pulled Meredith over, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
well, they're on the side talking, and Meredith claims that Whitney's products are Alibaba, whatever that is, and she's marking it up. I guess it's like a Temu.
Yes, it is. But
and she's
wholesale.
Marking it up and
10 to 20 times.
Listen, Meredith, shut up. I'm so tired of you bringing like stupid, fake storylines.
Right.
Well, I don't know, because they showed a screenshot of Whitney's product and the Alibaba product, and she was even using the same Alibaba screenshot of the product. It wasn't like she got the product off Alibaba for wholesale, brought it to her store, redid it, and took a picture. No, it was like the same picture from Alibaba, which is low budget.
But listen, the way Meredith presented it was that it was a social media post that somebody else put out there, and she was tagged in it hundreds of times. Which is a little sus, because we know Meredith's penchant for causing trouble and posting things. So it could have very well even been her who started the whole damn thing. It absolutely could have been. And Heather was like, what? Are you going to be there to stand by her side and to support her? No, and she's like, well, I don't think she wants my support. I mean, I'm not going to do a Meredith impression, even though I would like to, because I can't stand her.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want my support. I've been designing for years.
I could have saved her. Literally. Okay.
All right. Come on. This, again, is just Meredith stirring the pot and making up bullshit. Even if
she says, I think Whitney has an issue with me. No, you clearly have the issue with Whitney.
Yes. Right. Because Heather says to her, listen, she called you up and asked, like, could you bring caviar for the girls? And you responded, well, I already am. And Meredith said, well, maybe she was asking me to bring caviar because she's going to now have a caviar line.
Yes.
I mean, seriously, I don't ever use the word hate, but I really dislike her. I really strongly dislike Meredith.
She's hard to watch.
She does not have any redeeming qualities. There is nothing about her that I like.
She's not talking about her real life. Can we all just agree that she's not sharing anything real that's going on in her life? She's making up the bat mitzvah story. Although I will say that one of our supporters did say that she grew up Jewish and the girls were not encouraged to make their bat mitzvahs
in a specific sect of Judaism. Right. She did say that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate
that too, and I totally believe it. I do, however, still think that Meredith is making this up for a storyline.
By the way, same did our listener.
Overwhelmed with a renewed faith that she now has to make a bat mitzvah.
Right. The listener that commented about that said the same thing. Although she does know what she's talking about, she 100% agreed with us that it was made up for a storyline.
Yeah. I did not know that not all girls were encouraged to do so. So I thank that the listener for saying that. But Meredith, man. She does not share anything about her real life on this show. She doesn't. She never has, and she's still not.
No, it's true. It's true.
How about when they're in the car going somewhere and that new one, that Bronwyn says, oh, it's horrifying that I'm having sex with someone old enough to have gout. And I'm thinking to
I
myself,
had that written down.
I have younger people who have gout.
But listen up, sis.
Yeah.
My husband gets gout and has since his 20s.
Right.
It's in your blood, girl. Your uric acid level gets too high, you get gout.
And not only that.
Oh, I got that written down. I was pissed.
Yeah, and not only that, who says that about their husband? Look,
An asshole.
it's good enough for you to go to the bank with his money.
A gold digger.
But now
a gold digger.
Now all of a sudden he's like, you're horrified that he's that old. Oh,
Right.
you knew his age when you married him, girl. What are you thinking? You think
he was hot?
You think gout is bad? You just wait.
Just wait.
Just wait.
Just you wait.
He was hot when he was standing on all of his money.
That's
There
right.
you go.
That's right.
You gold digging
Yeah.
Yeah.
biatch.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't have respect for people like that.
I have that. Bronwyn, calm down. Gout can start in your 20s.
There
Yep.
you go.
Yep. So then we see Lisa is dressed in her head to toe Greek attire, including her glasses, because she is
Angie.
supporting
Angie is, right?
Angie. Yes,
Yeah.
Angie. Yes, Angie's. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Angie's dressed head to toe in her Greek attire, including her glasses. She's supporting her man, Giannis Anakoupas. So
Not
Anakoupo.
an easy name to pronounce.
Giannis Anakoupo. So I watched him all during the Olympics. And tonight, before we did this, I had to ask Andrew, like, can you give me a pronunciation again? Because I wanted to get it right. And Will said, what do you want? Why do you want this? I said, because I'm talking about it. He goes, what do you want this for? Giannis Anakoupo. He is the Greek freak. And according to Andrew, he's going to be traded. So he's not going to be there much longer.
Oh, wow.
Listen, I watched him. He's a good I love basketball. I love watching basketball.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good basketball player. So they're sitting courtside for the warm-ups, and they get their pictures with the players, and then they go up to the suite. This is where we get the Maryism. She said she feels like she has to blow her nose, and Angie says, well, you can go to the restroom. And Mary says, I don't use public restrooms. They're gross. I just put a tampon in. There.
Make sure
It works.
It's a super.
Make sure it's a super. It works. I promise.
I Googled it.
mean,
You Googled it?
I
And
Googled
what did Google say?
there, see, Lori with the deep dive. I love it.
Google said that it is a thing. It's not a good thing to do.
No,
and it
I would
should
think not.
It should only be done sporadically. But what happens is when you place that there, it puts pressure on your urethra,
Bladder.
and it will kind of curb the sensation that you have to urinate. There are urinary incontinence products that you can use that are very similar to a supersized tampon that will do the same thing, but you should not use the tampon because you can get toxic shock syndrome.
Exactly.
only
That's what
use
I
it-
was
you
thinking.
should
How long
only
she got
use
this thing in for?
Right. You should only use a tampon when you're menstruating. And not only that, you I don't know what kind of super chotch Mary's got, but you got to load that thing up with some lube with no periods. It's just,
Right.
it was just hysterical because I thought to myself, oh, I've got to Google this now. I have to see if this is a real thing.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
I thought that was nuts, especially knowing that there's specific products for this. Yeah, like
Yes.
where get those on like the people who, can't control, like that have bladder issues that have to wear those things. That, there's products out there. Get that, you fucking weirdo.
But yet,
Sorry, she's a very nice lady, but
But-
that's weird. That's weird.
right. But yet, she didn't want to take a bath because she was going to get an infection.
Yeah.
But you're willing to get like toxic shock syndrome so you don't have to
Right.
pee in public? Like, it's madness.
I mean, she will not use a public restroom. Listen, I have never heard such insanity. I seriously have not.
Can't you just carry a tiny spray bottle, like a tiny can of Lysol? Go in that bathroom, and before you touch anything, Lysol the fuck out of it.
Yes, of
Wouldn't
course you
that
can.
be healthier and
But listen-
relieve your bladder?
Who sits on a public toilet? That is hover territory. You hover. You don't ever sit on that toilet seat. You
I line it
hover
with
over
toilet
that.
paper. If I'm drunk, sometimes I'm just sitting. I'm not gonna lie.
But
Listen, I'll be honest
been
with
known
you.
to just
situation.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a good hoverer. I will go in there. I will clean that toilet seat and I will sit my ass down.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pee on my pants. I don't want to pee on my pants.
Right.
I don't want it to go.
I don't have the balance. We're beyond that point.
But listen, if you got to go, you got to go. And you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly.
I'm not sticking a tampon. I'm not sticking a tampon in there.
No. Not if I don't have to.
No. And you really should not hold your urine in when you have to go to the bathroom. It can lead to a bladder infection.
Exactly. Or UTI.
It was just mad.
Or even worse, a kidney infection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Mary, call us.
Please,
honey. We'll
please
give you
don't
some
listen.
Other options for
don't listen to Mary.
God.
Don't listen to Mary for advice. I mean, I'm here for the Maryisms, but this is craziness. This is craziness. This is madness.
Crazy town, as Lori would say.
Hysterical.
I mean, I was laughing as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Good one.
Then we see Brittany is FaceTiming Jared with Angie standing right behind her telling Bronwyn about the brow girl.
She's talking right behind her.
Literally right behind her.
But why is Angie saying it to Bronwyn? That's rude. You want to say something to her? You say something to her.
Pull her aside.
Yeah, you pull her aside. I mean, doing it on camera is douchey. You shouldn't have done it on camera. But you shouldn't have. Why are you telling other people?
Bronwyn says to her, listen, it is embarrassing. Bronwyn says, if you knew this about me, I'd want you to tell me. And then Brittany kind of gets like a feeling as to what's going on. She's like, are you talking about me? And then all of a sudden Meredith appears. Like, where the hell did Meredith come from? Seriously.
She had to swoop in there. Yeah. I think she was behind Angie and Bronwyn when they were talking. And then she saw that Brittany was getting upset. I think that's what happened.
But all of a sudden, Meredith is there listening to the whole conversation. They tell Brittany what's going on. And she's like, listen, I'm going to be right back. And obviously she's crying and she's upset. And Meredith goes with her to the bathroom to comfort her. And listen, I was glad that Meredith went with her because, again, I'm not a Meredith fan. I don't think she has any redeeming qualities. Even though she was there for Brittany, I still do not like her. Let's make this perfectly clear. And Lisa's like, should we, no. Bronwyn is like, should we go and check on her? And Angie's like, listen, Meredith is with her. So they let Meredith.
Yeah, I don't think they needed a big powwow in the bathroom.
No, they certainly did not. They did not.
And what did they have? Lobster corn dogs?
That sounded good.
That suite had some good food. That suite had some good food.
That sounded good. And I'm trying not to eat.
But that sounded
because of this wedding. That scene was hard to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not that I'm sorry. I'm not trying to not eat. Let me clarify because I eat. I'm trying not to eat anything at night after I eat dinner.
Okay, that's a good plan.
Yeah. So it was hard to get through that scene.
Yeah. So then Lisa asked Bronwyn how the museum was. And Millie goes up to Lisa and says, Bronwyn asked me to ask you what you think about my outfits because she wanted to bring up what Lisa said. And Lisa said it was a snarky comment after she said something about how it's Valentino. And I said, you will find it back on the rack at Nordstrom's. So again, it's Bronwyn trying to produce.
Yeah.
And trying to.
I think basically her point is, you did the same thing to Millie that I did to Whitney, and I'm getting chastised for it at a lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just getting away with it.
Right. So Bronwyn chimes in on this, and Lisa says, listen, Bronwyn, I feel sorry that you don't feel like I supported you, but you could have said something when Heather was yelling at me. Lisa says, in her confessional, I did defend her. I don't know what she wants from me. Throw a glass for her? I only do that when I'm defending myself. And that's just Lisa being Lisa. Like I said, Lisa cares about nobody but Lisa.
And pretty much everybody on social media is saying the same thing. Like, enough with the, I'm Lisa. This is how I am. Take me or leave me.
So then Heather comes up and she's to the conversation. She says to Bronwyn, I didn't mean to put you on blast. And Bronwyn says, well, you did put me on blast. And you and I are going to need to get correct about a few things before we can go forward. Those are some strong words.
Those are strong words.
I mean, seriously, some strong words to Heather. Like, maybe you could say that to Whitney. Seriously, you probably could say that to Whitney, but to say that to Heather, they're two different people on two different levels. Seriously.
Yeah, well, I think that I don't think Bronwyn's checking levels right now.
No, she certainly is not.
I think she's just pissed that she got called out the way she did, and all this other nonsense is going on, and she's like, "Well, what the fuck? Why was I called out then?"
Right? Well, exactly.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
I have to say,
this is what you literally. This is what you signed on for.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's exactly what you signed on. It's exactly what you signed on for. So basically, they're going back and forth. And then in Bronwyn's confessional, she said, everyone needs to know that everyone is doing this to each other. Everyone is talking behind each other's backs. It's not just me. I'm not the root of the problem. I'm just the best dressed.
Which is questionable, Bronwyn.
Well,
right.
Let me say this. Let me just say this, please. Because Bronwyn's outfit at that ending confessional, she looked like Ronald McDonald's wife.
Yes, she did.
Ronald McDonald's wife. Girl, I don't know how much you overpaid for whatever it is you got on, but somebody laughed all the way to the bank that you bought that. So horrible.
It's like Jenna Lyon's vagina dress.
It was bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
But listen, it's not her money. I mean, it is her money because she's married, but it's not her money. It's not her money.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. There's tons of beautiful shit out there in the world. Beautiful things. Why are you looking like Ronald McDonald's wife? Yeah. Makes no sense.
She likes to make a statement. She likes to make a statement.
Well, that's a statement, all right.
She wants the attention. I wonder how her daughter dresses. I wonder if we'll see her daughter.
I would like to see her daughter and the cafe and her little coffee shop. I would like to see Gwen, right? Her name is Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to see how this season turns out. I mean, right now.
What did she say? Her daughter wants to open up a coffee shop?
Yeah, yes.
I honestly think that this is what Tess truly wants to do.
So she should do that.
She's going to go to school for something in the medical field. But I do think that she'll wind up doing that one day.
Huh? Listen, you could be many things in this life.
Yeah. Listen, exactly. And you don't have to know what you want to be for the rest of your life at 20 years old.
No. You do not have to put yourself in a box. Nope. Just listen. This is like we are evolving. Every day we're evolving. Just be the best bee you can be right now, right?
Yes. Yep.
I think that's it for Salt Lake, unless you guys have anything else.
No, I don't. And I didn't even watch What Happens Live with Heather, quite honestly.
I did
have
not
it in
either.
My DVR, but I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't watch it either. So
we'll
see.
Whatever. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Until next time, thank you for watching us. Please like us, share us, and give us some 5-star reviews. They really do help.
They do.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.